Namah Shivaya. Good evening to all of you and all those who are with us online tonight. So, tonight for our Satsang, et les écouteurs, c'est besoin de la traduction. We will take inspiration from Bliss Divine of Swami Sivananda, the chapter called Om. So Om you hear all day here in the Ashram or the TTC. And first maybe, you don't relate to this word where everybody says Om, Om. Why is this used so much? Here Swami Sivananda says that Om is Nada Brahman. So for the TTC you heard this word Brahman, no? The absolute. But now he's combining these two words, Nada and Brahman. Nada means sound. So Nada Brahman means the absolute, which is in the form of sound. This seems a contradiction in itself because absolute is beyond everything. So how can you say it's a sound? When you say just Om, nothing happens. You feel it's just a word. But he says, no, this is Brahman itself. This is the absolute, what you cannot understand in the form of a vibration. Isn't this mysterious? If this could be understood, then we could finish the TTC right here because we would have understood everything. But this is not really understood, no? Brahman, the totality of existence, is a sound, is a word. But the Bible also says, at the beginning was the word. And do we understand this more? Also not. Sounds very mysterious. What word? Did anybody say something when nothing was created? So what is all this about? This subtle sound, this first vibration. It is said that there's a beautiful Sanskrit statement in Sanskrit is Ekoham Bahu Shyam, means I was one, may I become many. It is thought that the universe came from that thought of Brahman. I am one, may I become many. And you can say, why did he say that? Or that I don't know, we have to ask him. Why did he want to become many? Was he lonely? Why do they want? The one wants to become two. Because when we are two, you want to become one, isn't it? And the one wants to become two. So that the eternal play of the universe, the one wants to become two, and the two wants to return to one. And through this play, the universe exists. And that first thought, it came not in the form of words, it came at the first vibration. It's called a spandana. And that first vibration was this vibration of expansion, not like Brahman wanting to just express. Everybody wants to express in their life, no? Don't you want to express who you are? You want to let your talents shine. You want people to notice you. Everybody wants this, to feel I exist. So it came from that first desire of Brahman, I exist, made become known. And that thought created that expansion of what? What can expand? Time and space expanded. And as they expanded, they created a sound. And that sound is this infinitely still existing now in the universe. And somehow this is very useful to know because if you use that sound, that vibration, you can yourself experience that first thought of Brahman. and you can experience the one. It may seem too simplistic. You think, well, that seems a little simple. Of course, not enough to say, oh, once, and then that's it, I experience Brahman. Theoretically, it could be enough, but practically, when we do this, only a little part of our attention is in it, and a big part of the attention is busy with its own usual habits. So we don't give full attention. Because we don't give full attention, we don't get that full result also. So it's why the practice of japa, repeating the sound again and again, you become more and more and more focused, more tuned, and finally you realize the power. This is a word of power. Not a power over something, but pure power in itself. Can you imagine how much power there is in that first vibration, that the whole universe is included in it? So much of power. So now when you just repeat Om, it feels harmless, no power. But if it's repeated again and again and again, and finally we tune to that very subtle vibration, then the power is invoked, and then you feel very powerful, not from our own personal power, but you feel that power of that first cosmic vibration in you, because it's still here. It's not something which happened in the past, it's happening now. So then you feel very, very alive, that from that same life, that Brahman which said, I am, and then the whole universe expanded and continues to expand. So much of power. Usually we feel, I'm so tired, I have no energy. Well, if you repeat that Om properly, you'll have lots of energy, lots of power. In the scriptures, in the Puranas, the mythological stories, there's this whole scenario is put into a story, because that way is less abstract, and we remember it, and we can relate to it more also in the form of a story. So the story of creation goes like this, that the cosmic being, he was lying on a bed, a very special bed. The bed was made of a huge snake, which was coiled on itself like this to create like a bed, soft. And that snake has many hoods like this, 100 hoods, and it was creating like an umbrella over the cosmic being. And that snake itself was floating on an ocean of milk. I mean, more imagination than this you cannot find. And then this being was sleeping. It means creation has not started. It was potential only. But then from that sleep, from that deep sleep of that cosmic being, somehow some desire for expression came. And very interestingly, in the story, it says this came from his navel. From the navel of the cosmic being, some lotus flowers started to grow. Isn't it wonderful? And the stem grew up and up and up and up. It was infinite. But then finally, at the end of the stem, like a beautiful lotus flower opened. And in the lotus flower, there was someone. There was another being who was seated in full lotus and who had 4 heads looking in the 4 directions. So when the lotus opened, this being was called Brahma. He opened his eyes, that makes many eyes because 4 heads. And he sees, what does he see? He sees nothing, because nothing has been created. So he's awake now and he's wondering, what am I doing here? So communication came from below, from the stem, and the cosmic being sleeping on the Adishesha, the snake, says, create the universe. Small karma yoga on the side, just create the universe. So Brahma is a little bit at a loss what to do, because it's a big task. How does one start to create the universe? So he starts to meditate. to get some inspiration. And he meditates with such concentration that out of his meditation, he creates a being. And the being manifests in front of Brahma. And that being is Lord Ganesha, the picture over there. So Lord Ganesha manifests. And he asks Brahma, you created me. What for? What shall I do? So Brahma said, I have a little task. I'm supposed to create the universe, but I don't know how to start. Can you give me a hint? So Ganesha says, sure. And Ganesha, from his pocket, he had a pocket somehow, he took out a shank, a big conch like he has in his hand like this, and he blew into the shank, the conch. You heard a big shank blown. It's like a boat sound, you know, very, very powerful. And from that first sound, this sounded like a huge Om. And so Brahma, from this Om, he had the vision of the whole universe, and he knew how to create the universe. So really, Ganesha is responsible for the beginning of the universe. And the sound that Ganesha produced from his conch, his Om, is the beginning of the universe. From there, it expanded into more sounds. Another 50 sounds came from that Om. And these 50 sounds are the 50 sounds which constitute the Sanskrit alphabet. And those vibrations started to combine and combine and combine. And the whole possibilities of the universe came. The elements and everything was created. Isn't it a nice story? I think it's a sweet story, but it's not just a sweet story. It's just like a put into images the real story of creation, that everything came from this sound Om. So he says, nada is sound. Sound is vibration. We know not anything about the nature of the absolute, except that it is. That is the truth, no? We can't say anything about where we come from. What am I truly beyond this personality, body, mind? I don't know. You cannot put any name on it. You just know that you are. Yes or no? Do you have a doubt that you are? Anybody has a doubt? No, we know that we are. That's obvious. I am. I know that because I know I exist. I don't doubt my own existence. But what is that I which says I exist? That you cannot describe, you can only feel. The more you feel, the more joy you will experience, because you will realize that I is unshakable. It can never die because it was never born. It will never change. So you feel a sense of great security when you realize that I. As long as we only identify with the front facade, the ego and the personality, it's very insecure, because that is full of likes and dislikes. Other people's ego is also full of likes and dislikes. Maybe one day they like us, and then the next day they don't like us anymore. And the whole thing is very insecure. So if it's insecure, it's full of pain, no? Fear of loss. So, but if we go a little bit back to that sense of self, the sense of insecurity will reduce a lot. So Om is an entrance door into that space of self. So now I go to next page for the translator. Om, the basis of all sounds. All the objects are denoted by sounds. Everything has a name, no? The first thing when you meet somebody you don't know, what do you ask? What is your name? What is your name? Or an object, what is this? What is the name? Or new flowers you don't know, what is the name? Why do we want so much to know the name? because it creates a connection, the name. So sound is very important. The name of something is very important. Your own name is very important. When you hear your name, first you react. And secondly, just hearing your name, it connects you to a lot of things connected to that name. That's why in yoga, you say sometimes it's nice to take a fresh name, not to deny your previous name. But if there is a lot of contraction around identification with that name, sometimes it helps, like a new birth, to take a new name or a second name, a spiritual name. So all the collection of speech or words terminate in one sound. Om. The humming of the bees, the sweet melody of the nightingale, the 7 notes of music, the sound of the mridangam, drum, the flute, the roaring of a lion, the singing of a lover, the hissing of the cobra, the crying of a baby, the clapping of an audience, all are emanations of Om only. When you hear a sound from some distance, everything sounds like an Om. When you're in an airplane and there's a baby crying, when you realize, oh, I'm here for 7 hours and there's nowhere you can go. So you can use this. Okay, this is also Om. You create another connection, not, oh, it's an unpleasant sound. Whenever something is unpleasant, just expand the mind and feel, I want to enjoy that sound also. I don't want to create a contraction. Don't create a contraction around anything. This is a secret of happiness. Don't create even something is not pleasant, don't create a contraction. Find a way to enjoy that also. For certain things, it's difficult, but it's a good training to try as much as possible. It's a respect of your own life that you want to enjoy your own life. You don't want to be miserable. And very often it's a choice. Certain things are, maybe a little bit difficult to enjoy. But many things is so much a question of inner perspective and decision. I will also enjoy that. I will not spoil my life. The sound of the flowing Ganga, the sound that is heard at a distance, and that which proceeds from the bustle of a market, all of this is Om only. Om is the basis of all sounds. It consists of 3 letters, A, U, M. And it covers a whole range of sound vibrations. Babies, what is the first sound that they pronounce, the babies? Which vowel do they pronounce first? Do they start with E or with U? No, because it's very difficult to say U. So many muscles are involved. E is also very difficult. What is the only easy vowel to pronounce? Ah, because you open your mouth, you vibrate your vocal cords and you say ah. So there's lots of ah in babies. No? Ma, this is why mother, there's always an ah in all languages almost. So ah is very easy. And then if you move the sound from the throat, ah is a guttural sound, you move it through your whole mouth, through your whole mouth to your lips, then the last sound is an U indeed. What you have to do is you just open your mouth a little bit, and then you close it, and then you'll have the perfect Om. Nothing else to do. Open a little bit and gradually close. You'll have the perfect Om. Nothing should be forced when you repeat Om. Very natural. Starting from here, you let the sound come forward to your lips, and then you close your lips and you just vibrate until it goes into silence. If you do it like this for a few minutes, you will create a very deep meditative mood. It's always the best mantra for, not the best, it's a very good mantra for meditation. All the other mantras, they also have Om anyway. Om Namo Narayana, Om Namah Shivaya. It gives the power to all the other mantras also. So now the paragraph called the power of Om chanting. I'm skipping one paragraph. A loud sound is produced in chanting Om. Om is repeated with a big sound with 3.5 matras. There is the whole science, the sounds of mantras and how a sound can literally change your mood. I mean, if you hear something nice, somebody tells you, oh, you are so nice, it puts you into a good mood, no? Then you feel good about yourself. But if nobody's there to tell you you're nice, what to do, you can record it and play it to yourself. That's a possibility. But ultimately, you can create this mood just by these sounds. You can create that beautiful mood inside, very warm and very calm and very humble with no expectation from life. Even if nothing comes, that's fine, because I can invoke that mood myself. So repeating this sound. So there is a whole science of how it should be repeated. It can be short, it can be long. Here it says 3.5 matra. A matra is like a measure, like in music, a certain length of time. 3.5 means it's long. The pranava is another word for Om, is generated in the navel with the sound A, and then you can bring it along the Brahmarandra, means that channel, energy channel in your spine, to the top of your head, where it will finish with the sound M. So you can do, as you can do in your throat, you can also do through your body. The A here, and you'll have a full sound massage. If you don't have anybody to give you a massage, give yourself a massage with sound. That's best. No oil involved, nothing involved, just your own voice. And that will awaken the energy centers as well. So it's a beautiful type of meditation, starting from here and then finishing top of your head, and then it expands infinitely, and then you feel connected as if it's going through you. Spine is just an axis through which you're connected with the universe from both sides, like this. So there is another kind of chanting of Om with 18 matras, very, very long. So possible to make it very slow and very long. It takes a long time. It's called dirga, means deep. If you want to create energy in a place which doesn't have much energy, which is like you come to a place which is new, you move into a new home or something, and maybe it's beautifully painted and everything, but no spiritual energy. So you can do this every day for 10-15 minutes. You do some very long Om. When Swami Neuville-aux-bois was still alive, when he started at the ashram in Canada, when he first got the property, it was just a forest. There was nothing there, no buildings, nothing. And it was called a yoga camp because it was only tents. But slowly, 1 or 2 buildings were built, a meditation room. And then the first years, the meditation, half of the meditation was just Om chanting. For 10-15 minutes, Om, very long Om chanting, just to put the vibration in the place. So you can do the same place where you live. It's very important to uplift the atmosphere in the place where you live. And you can do this by doing long Om like this, 5-10 minutes. The vibration will change. In your bedroom, in the place where you work, wherever you spend a lot of time, you want it to have a good energy, no? Because you live in it. So it has to be good energy. So the Om chanting is one way to create this. Okay, now we go to the last paragraph called Remember Om Always. Remember Om. Remember Soham. Om Soham. Shivoham. These mantras remind you of your identity with your soul. Om is your birthright. It is the common heritage of all. It is the common property of all the people of the world. It is the word of power. When we feel weak, I'm weak mentally, physically, what to do? If you're weak physically, of course, you can do some, body training, become strong physically. But we're not talking just about strength of the muscles. It's inner strength that you can face life boldly and happily, even when challenges come. Where does this come from? It doesn't come from gym training. It doesn't come just from positive affirmations also. It comes from something deeper. It comes from this assertion of who we are, strongly inside, boldly. And repeating Om is one way to say, I am that power. It brings inspiration and intuition. It is spiritual food. See, even when you are hungry, food, Om is also the answer. Om is a spiritual tonic and vitamin when you feel, oh, my immune system is low. That will also help to say Om. That will give a boost to your health. It is full of divine potencies. It is your constant companion and savior. It is your joy and life. Live in it day and night. Be absorbed in it. And then there is very poetic words. It says, live in Om, meditate on Om. Inhale Om, exhale Om. Rest peacefully in Om. Take shelter in Om. Sing Om rhythmically. Chant Om loudly. Roar Om forcefully. Repeat Om mentally. Draw strength from Om. Get inspiration from Om. Derive energy from Om. Imbibe bliss from Om. Rely on Om. Reflect on Om. Concentrate on Om. Meditate on Om. Know this sacred syllable Om. You will know everything. You will attain the highest knowledge. Amazing, no? These are the words of a realized being. So it's not talking cheaply, some cheap positive thinking. It's very deep. So one should take this seriously and experiment with it. The best way to convince yourself is to experiment with it. Use it as a tool to uplift your mind, to improve your health, to change your mood. And then you will realize that it is true that the sound is best friend. Best friend is somebody who gives you energy, consolation, understanding when you need, or help. Well, here you go, you have all of this in this sound. It's not a sound really, it's like a divine conscious energy. One should see it like this. And it's a new perspective because for us, we relate to sound as just tools for communication. But the mantras are not tools for communication. Or if they are, is to commune with your own self. Very, very deep, very powerful. So let's experiment with this. No? Om Namah Shivaya.